Tokyo, when you stand, take a bow. My friend, not your friend, but my friend, the Tokyo Monster. Sitting right next to him with a pocket full of beans that he's bringing home tonight is Chaz Taylor. Chaz, in a week, you know that. You're going to look like you cocked yourself. Getting on right now with the ceremony. Our next inductee is Johnny Red Shoes Dugan. Second on behalf, this is daughter Kathy Stewart, her husband Chuck, and their daughters Kelsey and Caitlin. Give it up for Johnny Red Shoes Dugan.
Hi, I'm Kathy Stewart. Actually, I'm his niece. He didn't have any children, but he was really father to me, and granddad to my kids. So for us, we are very honored to be here and blessed to be here. First, I want to give a shout out to John Martel because he's really welcomed us into this whole world. My uncle, I know, started in wrestling. He was a wrestler, but then he decided, you know what, I think I might be a referee. And then many of you have shared so many wonderful memories with us that has brought back so many wonderful memories for me. Flying through the ring, being under Rocky III in the movie, doing so many wonderful things. So we are just very honored and blessed to be here. Thank you so much for showing us that we thought he was a legend in our life, but now we know he's a legend in your life. So thank you so very much.
Johnny Red Shoes Dugan. This is a good one right here. Okay. Right now, I would like to have Tom Curlin to come up and accept the award on behalf of the Midnight Express. He's brother-in-law of Ravishing Randy Rose. And growing up, I was a big fan of the Midnight Express. And this is a big one.
Like I say, I first met Randy in 1976. I was a struggling photographer. A mutual friend of ours called me one day and said, I'd like you to take some publicity shots for being a friend of mine. And I did. Almost 20 years later, I met the lady that I married. 2 weeks later, she introduced me to her brother. And I said, I know you. I shot pictures of you 20 years ago. She brought me up to date with Randy's career during that 20 years. And I realized my early encounter was with a man who had become a member of the original Midnight Express. His professional wrestling career would take him across the United States, Japan, Australia, and New Zealand. He would go on to win championship in several wrestling associations as an individual and a member of the tag team. But Randy was more than a wrestler, even though to many people that would be enough. He began linking his status as a wrestler to help raise money for the Jerry Lewis Telethon for muscular dystrophy research. For 20 years, he not only helped raise money, he also got many of his professional wrestling friends to stage wrestling matches for MD Summer Camp Kids. Ladies and gentlemen, here's a distinct honor to introduce a 2019 Inductee into the Professional Wrestling Hall of Fame as a member of the original Midnight Express. My friend and brother-in-law, Randy Rose. make me cry. Now, I can do the front back and I want to say thank you guys for being here. First of all, I want to say to God be the glory, for without Him, none of us would be. Then I want to say a couple of things right here. Please bear with me now because it's been a while since I've been on the mic. As you know, we had managers doing all our talking. We just took all the bumps and all the hurt. But anyway, I wanted to say thank you to my sister right here, Gloria Curlin, because without her, when my parents weren't there, she was always there. And I want to say a special thank you to my beautiful little wife, Sherry, right there. Through all the bumps in the ring that I took, 2 hip surgeries, $80,000 worth of titanium, she's taken care of me, and I love her very much. My career started about the second year of my career. I went to Australia, New Zealand, Korea, and many times in Japan and Hawaii with my buddy over there, Abdul. Very good close friend. He took me under his wing and taught me. I had a lot of good friends in the business, and I guess I kind of related to the guys that were the dark horses. Don't be offended. The dark horses in the ring were Abby, Bruiser Brody, Mr. Wrestling too. They all took me under their wing and taught me, and I learned and learned and learned and got to where I was today. And thank you very much, Johnny Mantel, and this awesome Professional Wrestling Hall of Fame. Anybody that's in here will be, their legacy will be over and over and over. And to us, I just want you to know that this is the real deal. It is an honor and a privilege to be included in it. Now, the history of the Midnight Express. A lot of people have asked this question, so it's going to come now from the horse's head. Okay. Now, the history of the Midnight Express. I was working in Southeastern Territory for Ron Fuller, a name that was synonymous with wrestling. The Fullers. Ron came to me and said, I have a guy I'm bringing to tag with you, and his name is Dennis Condrey. He looks a lot like you with the long blonde hair, and he got a little on the beach, and y'all love the party. So, he put us together, we gelled, we got really good. We won the Southeastern Tag titles over 10 times. Then Ron Fuller comes to us again and says, I got another item. I'm going to put you with Norvell Austin. We're going to call you the Midnight Express, a.k.a. the first version of the Midnight Express. The original. We went on, everybody got us, we were like really gelled together, all 3 of us together as Midnight Express. We got a lot of heat sometimes, and we had to fight our way out of the rings to get to our cars. I know a lot of you had to do that before too as healers. We decided to take the Midnight Express team to Memphis. We worked with names such as Jerry Lawler, Bill Dundee, Jimmy Hart. We were even on the card the night Lawler wrestled Andy Kaufman, which was pretty cool. After the Memphis deal, I had a back injury, so I laid off for a while and was just rehabbing. So Dennis went on to hook up with Bobby Eaton, great worker, manager Bobby Eaton, and wrestler Bobby Eaton, and great manager Jim Cornette. The second version of the Midnight Express. They went on to have really, really awesome matches with the Rock and Roll Express. So then everything was like gelling together, and the Midnight Express and Randy Rose was over to the side. But then Dennis Condrey didn't show up. He wasn't able. So Dusty Rhodes, being the booker in Atlanta, Georgia, called up Stan Lane. Another third version of the Midnight Express. Then it went on to where Dennis and I hooked back up in the AWA and got the original Midnight Express back together. ESPN, every afternoon, we got over like $1 million. And as a lot of you guys know Dusty Rhodes, he was the booker. He called us to Texas down here and said, I'm going to put you on WCW, you're going to fight against the other Midnight Express. And he says in his little voice now, I'm going to have y'all
fucking through silk, you're gonna make more money than you ever made in your life. That wasn't true. Anyway, it went on, and we had a good run with those guys, and everything really gelled together, and we did make a little bit of money. So, after all of that, I just want you guys to know that I love each and every one of the fans. If it wasn't for them, there would be no wrestling, there would have never been any Midnight Express, and to stand here tonight and be included in this Pro Wrestling Hall of Fame with these names and to honor the name of the Midnight Express is awesome. And whether you love to hate us or you hated to love us, we appreciate each and every one of you fans who came to see us. I will never forget tonight. Thank you again, Johnny Mantel and the Professional Wrestling Hall of Fame. I am blessed and honored, and long live the legacy of all the versions of the Midnight Express. God bless you and thank you.
Randy Rose. Now, all humor aside, if you're a wrestling fan, I did the just in Tokyo. If you're a wrestling fan, you have a unique opportunity here to go visit the Hall of Fame. It's the only brick and mortar Hall of Fame. I do not care what your mother says, your grandmother says, the WWE Hall of Fame is not the Hall of Fame. That's a cyberspace Hall of Fame. This is your Hall of Fame. Here in Wichita Falls, originally started 20 years ago in Schenectady, New York, moved to Amsterdam, New York by Tony Milano. Past 4 years, it's been in great hands by Johnny Mantel here in Wichita Falls. And like I said, once again, you have the greatest opportunity. It's archives, the archival footage, the photographs, it's history. Come out. When you're a kid, you're in school, you go to history class, you have history class, you take Western civilization, you take all these other classes. Well, if you're a wrestler or a wrestling fan, go to school.